Baby Ari, there he is, just days old, born to a surrogate mother in Ukraine. Ukraine is a country that permits surrogacy for foreign parents. This morning, he's in the arms of his Canadian parents, rescued by our next guest. You just got a glimpse of him there in that picture. That wasn't the proud dad, although he might be very proud for all of this. We're going to find out. Brian Stern is the co-founder of Project Dynamo. That's a nonprofit organization led by combat veterans who travel to hostile regions around the world to rescue civilians. He arrived in Kyiv just days before the invasion began, and 90 minutes after the first bomb fell, Project Dynamo was running rescue missions. One of them was for that beautiful Canadian baby. Brian, welcome to our program. We're just delighted to meet you this morning.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
How did you hear about little Ari, Brian?
Ari's parents found us through a network of other surrogate parents. We've done a couple of these surrogate rescues already prior to theirs. In fact, we did another one yesterday. So they found us through a network. They made contact with us, and we took them on and executed.
Well, listen, we've got video of every step of the way. So let's look at the very first one when you're going. Just introduce us to the team. We're going to look at video of you heading to get Ari. Introduce us to the team with whom you're working in this.
So on our team, when we do baby rescues, I always have a medical doctor or two with us, a neonatal specialist and or a kind of a she's a medical doctor, but also a baby caregiver, and then other members of my team, who help conduct the execution.
Okay, so there you all are in the vehicle, and you arrive at the place where Ari is, and that's essentially a hospital or a clinic, but they're in something of a bunker, right? Well, look at this next scene. Tell us about where Ari was being sheltered.
So normally what happens is a surrogate gives birth, and the parents are there to take their baby pretty much right away. But baby Ari was born in a war zone, and that wasn't exactly possible. So what the surrogate agencies do and the hospitals do is there's these baby nurseries, and they tend to be underground because of the artillery and the missile threat that's here in Kyiv and throughout Ukraine. So it is underground. It's not exactly a bunker, but it's definitely safer than a hospital, that's for sure.
So you get there and you see him for the first time. I mean, we've been playing some of the video, and you're essentially cooing like a proud dad. Tell us about looking at that little boy for the first time, Brian.
I have a soft spot for kids, especially babies. You know, they're stuck in the middle of this terrible war. So, I always tell people I feel like I'm a delivery room nurse, delivering the baby to the parents for the first time. Meet your son. So, I think they're awesome. They're a lot of fun. They have no idea what's going on, and he's a good baby. We've rescued some that are not as much fun as baby Ari was, but I always have a good time, and it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to smile. We do rescue. I'm actually in the middle of a rescue right now, and these stories tend to be pretty terrible. We like the baby ones because it gives us the opportunity to smile and be happy a little bit. It's a big reason why we do it.
Okay, I am definitely going to ask you what you're doing right now in a moment, but I want to finish with Ari's story because, yes, we saw you smiling, we saw you put him in nice clothes, and then from there, you take him to his parents. Now, we have video of that, too. How did you get him out, Brian, and did you encounter anything dangerous en route at that time?
So here in Ukraine, every day, this is an active war zone. Just 10 minutes ago, we were hearing artillery here in the city in this current operation that I'm on. So at any minute, there's threat. The baby's not safe until he's across the border, inside of a hardened site. I don't relax until he's even out of a car, and he's inside a hotel or inside a hospital or what have you. Is kind of when my blood pressure goes down. So every minute that we're in Ukraine is a minute too long, in my opinion.
So you had him in the vehicle. You got him to a safe place where his Canadian parents were waiting. We don't have pictures of them, but just describe that moment. As you said, you're like a delivery nurse, handing him to his parents. Describe that moment in that scene, if you would.
It's beautiful, right? It's like it's one step away from childbirth. They've never met their baby before, so we're there for these wonderful, precious moments of, they know what he looks like through pictures and through Zoom. And to see baby Ari in the flesh, the parents are, they're, as you would expect, really happy parents that have been, scared this whole time, and most people that use surrogates, and I won't get into the issues with this particular case, but many people with surrogates that use surrogates have been trying to have babies for many, many, many years. So this is the culmination of a years-long process that ended with being born in a war zone. So this is a huge deal, obviously, for them, and their lives are, I already know from talking to them, are already turned upside down by baby Ari.
Well, tell me a little bit. I was going to ask you, have you had any further contact with the Canadian parents? How are they? How's the new family?
They're doing great. They're really happy. They're busy. They're definitely busy. We were in contact. They received an email that had to get passed on to us for another thing, and they were like, "No, we can't believe how much work it is." So they're not sleeping. He's eating a lot. He's pooping a lot, and he's crying a lot. Exactly what he should be doing. So he's a happy boy.
Isn't that wonderful? And then we get to see your smile again, which is really lovely. So obviously for you, as you said in the baby part of this, there must be a tremendous feeling of, I don't know, of pride or even of joy of being able to get somebody out of the worst circumstances into safety.
Yeah, with all of our cases, we get to know the people real well. We spend a lot of time on the phone at pulling babies out of a war zone is like a symphony. All the instruments have to play on the right key. So we spend a lot of time with the parents, a lot of time with the families, a lot of times all kinds of people, and we develop relationships with them. The first baby rescue that we did here in Ukraine, I talked to the father of that family, of the twin boys, every other day still, and that was weeks ago already. So we spend a lot of time with these people. The best way to get to know people is to travel with them, and the even better way is to deliver their babies.
I know that you've been doing, well, more than 200 rescues in Ukraine so far, not just of babies. And I understand other Canadians as part of that. I don't know if you can give us any further detail about that or the rescue you're involved in as we speak this morning.
The rescue that we're doing right now is we're pulling two buses of people of various citizenships and statuses. We have a couple of special needs people. We have two dogs and a cat and a dog and two cats. We have a bunch of grandmothers. We have a bunch of elderly people. We have a bunch of handicapped people and a bunch of young people. So we're bringing them to safety, and we're getting them across the border in about 14 hours from now.
So how do you do that? I mean, do you just coordinate it or do their paperwork or ensure that they are able to cross safely? I mean, what does it actually involve,
We would need a lot more time in this show to explain how it all works. But it's a three-ring circus, that's for sure. It's not exactly difficult, but it is very complicated. Everything in Ukraine, because it's a war zone, is hard. We learned this Dynamo learned this in Afghanistan doing our operations there. Nothing is easy in a war zone. Nothing's easy without a diplomatic presence. So, with baby Ari, as an example, the Canadian Consular Service was absolutely phenomenal, tremendously helpful. They bent over backwards. As how do you move a baby? How do you move a person outside of a country without a passport? The answer is go to the embassy and get a passport. There is no Canadian embassy in Ukraine, so how does that work? So without doing any hard math, just the mechanics of getting people from one country to the next, it can be a very, very, very big, complicated process.
And dangerous in a war zone. Have you noticed circumstances changing on the ground? I mean, do you feel under threat as you do this kind of work, Brian, right now?
In this current rescue, my team and I, we had artillery in the city. We had 3 hits of artillery in the city in the last 40 minutes. So people die here every single day. My case managers in America, they work tirelessly. The real unsung heroes of Dynamo. They're the mortar between the bricks. And my team in the field, we're on the street every single day, making moves, doing things, pulling people out. Some dangerous places, some really dangerous places, and very complicated operations. So it's definitely a team sport for sure, 100%.
Brian, thank you. What incredible work. Wish you could rescue all of the babies in that bunker there, and I wish there were happy endings for all of them, just like baby Ari. What a story. What a team. And thank you so much for telling us about it this morning.
Thank you so much. And please go to our website, projectdynamo.org. That's where you can donate. That's also where you can rescue for evacuation. But we are donor funded. All the money goes to doing these rescues. The more money you give, the more babies we can save. It's just that easy. Just that simple.
Brian Stern, be safe as you do that
Thank you.
important work. Thanks.